Philosophy, from the Greek philosophia, or love of wisdom, is the study of general and fundamental questions, such as those about existence, reason, knowledge, values, mind, and language. Such questions are often posed as problems to be studied or resolved. Some sources claim the term was coined by Pythagoras. Others dispute this story, arguing that Pythagoreans merely claimed use of a pre-existing term. Philosophical methods include questioning, critical discussion, rational argument, and systemic presentation. Historically, philosophy encompassed all bodies of knowledge, and a practitioner was known as a philosopher. From the time of ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle to the 19th century, natural philosophy encompassed astronomy, medicine, and physics. For example, Newton's 1687 Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy later became classified as a book of physics. In the 19th century, the growth of modern research universities led academic philosophy and other disciplines to professionalize and specialize. Since then, various areas of investigation that were traditionally part of philosophy have become separate academic disciplines, and namely the social sciences such as psychology, sociology, linguistics, and economics. Today, major subfields of academic philosophy include metaphysics, which is concerned with the fundamental nature of existence and reality, epistemology, which studies the nature of knowledge and beliefs, ethics, which is concerned with moral value, and logic, which studies the rules of interference that allow one to derive conclusions from true premises. Other notable subfields include philosophy of science, political philosophy, aesthetics, philosophy of language, and philosophy of mind. Initially, the term referred to any body of knowledge. In this sense, philosophy is closely related to religion, mathematics, natural science, education, and politics. In section 13 of his Lives and Opinions of the Eminent Philosophers, the oldest surviving history of philosophy from the 3rd century, Diogenes Laertius presents a three-part division of ancient Greek philosophical inquiry. Natural philosophy, i.e. physics, having to do with nature, was the study of the constitution and processes of transformation in the physical world. Moral philosophy, i.e. ethics, having to do with character, disposition, manners, was the study of goodness, right and wrong, justice and virtue. Metaphysical philosophy, i.e. logic, of or pertaining to reason or speech, was the study of existence, causation, God, logic, forms, and other abstract objects. In Against the Logicians, the Pyrrhonist philosopher Sextus Empiricus detailed the variety of ways in which the ancient Greek philosophers had divided philosophy, noting that this three-part division was agreed to by Plato, Aristotle, Xenocrates, and the Stoics. The academic skeptic philosopher Cicero also followed this three-part division. This division is not obsolete, but has changed. Natural philosophy has split into the various natural sciences, especially physics, astronomy, chemistry, biology, and cosmology. Moral philosophy has birthed the social sciences, while still including value theory, such as ethics, aesthetics, and political philosophy. And metaphysical philosophy has given way to formal sciences such as logic, mathematics, and philosophy of science, while still including epistemology, cosmology, and more. For example, Newton's Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, since classified as a book of physics, uses the term natural philosophy as it was understood at the time. encompassing disciplines such as astronomy, medicine, and physics that later became associated with the sciences. Branches of philosophy. Philosophical questions can be grouped into various branches. These groupings allow philosophers to focus on a set of similar topics and interact with other thinkers who are interested in the same questions. These divisions are neither exhaustive nor mutually exclusive. A philosopher might specialize in Kantian epistemology, or Platonic aesthetics, or modern political philosophy. Furthermore, these philosophical inquiries sometimes overlap with each other and with other inquiries such as science, religion, or mathematics. Aesthetics is the critical reflection on art, culture, and nature. It addresses the nature of art, beauty and taste, enjoyment, emotional values, perception, and with the creation and appreciation of beauty. It is more precisely defined as the study of sensory or sensory-emotional values, sometimes called judgments of sentiment and taste. Its major divisions are art theory, literary theory, film theory, and music theory. An example from art theory is to discern the set of principles underlying the work of a particular artist or artistic movement, such as the Cubist aesthetic. Ethics, also known as moral philosophy, studies what constitutes good and bad conduct, right and wrong values, and good and evil. Its primary investigations include how to live a good life and identifying standards of morality. It also includes investigating whether or not there is a best way to live or a universal moral standard, and if so, how we come to learn about it. The main branches of ethics are normative ethics, meta-ethics, and applied ethics. The three main views in ethics about what constitute moral actions are consequentialism, which judges actions based on their consequences. One such view is utilitarianism, which judges actions based on the net happiness or pleasure and or lack of suffering or pain that they produce. Deontology, which judges actions based on whether or not they are in accordance with one's moral duty. In the standard form defended by Immanuel Kant, deontology is concerned with whether or not a choice respects the moral agency of other people, regardless of its consequences. Virtue ethics, which judges actions based on the moral character of the agent who performs them and whether they conform to what an ideally virtuous agent would do. Epistemology is the branch of philosophy that studies knowledge. Epistemologists examine putative sources of knowledge, including perceptual experience, reason, memory, and testimony. They also investigate questions about the nature of belief, truth, justification, and rationality. Philosophical skepticism, which raises doubts about some or all claims to knowledge, has been a topic of interest throughout the history of philosophy. It arose early in pre-Socratic philosophy and became formalized with Pyrrho, the founder of the earliest Western school of philosophical skepticism. It features prominently in the works of modern philosophers René Descartes and David Hume, and has remained a central topic in contemporary epistemological debates. One of the most notable epistemological debates is between empiricism and rationalism. Empiricism places emphasis on observational evidence via sensory experience as the source of knowledge. Empiricism is associated with posteriori knowledge, which is obtained through experience, such as scientific knowledge. Rationalism places emphasis on reason as a source of knowledge. Rationalism is associated with a priori knowledge, which is independent of experience, such as logic or mathematics. One central debate in contemporary epistemology is about the conditions required for a belief to constitute knowledge, which might include truth and justification. This debate was largely the result of attempts to solve the Gettier problem. Another common subject of contemporary debates is the regress problem, which occurs when trying to offer proof or justification for any belief, statement, or proposition. The problem is that whatever the source of justification may be, that source may either be without justification, in which case it must be treated as an arbitrary foundation for belief, or it must have some further justification, in which case justification must either be the result of circular reasoning, as in coherentism, or the result of an infinite regress, as in infinitism.